Released in 1991 for the Nintendo Entertainment System, The Flintstones. The Rescue of Dino and Hoppy is a platformer that brought the iconic characters of the classic animated series, The Flintstones, into the world of 8-bit gaming. Developed by Taito Corporation, the game is a great example of how licensed games from popular TV shows or cartoons could not only appeal to fans, but also deliver a fun and challenging gaming experience. Though not as well known as some of the other NES platformers of its time, The Rescue of Dino and Hoppy holds a special place in the hearts of those who played it, thanks to its faithful representation of the Flintstones universe, solid gameplay mechanics, and quirky storyline. The game was developed by Taito Corporation, a Japanese company known for its popular arcade games like Space Invaders and Bubble Bobble. Taito had a knack for creating fun, arcade-style experiences and was no stranger to working with licensed properties. The Flintstones game was part of their strategy to expand into the home console market, particularly in the United States, where the NES had a strong following. At the time, the Flintstones cartoon, which originally aired in the 1960s, was still widely recognized thanks to reruns on television, making it an appealing choice for a licensed video game. The development team at Taito set out to create a game that would not only appeal to fans of the show, but also offer a platforming experience on par with other NES classics like Super Mario Bros. And Mega Man. Despite the challenges of adapting an animated sitcom to a video game format, Taito managed to capture the charm and humor of the Flintstones, complete with a vibrant prehistoric setting, beloved characters, and simple yet engaging mechanics. The story in the Flintstones. The Rescue of Dino and Hoppy is a typical rescue mission plot with a fun prehistoric twist. In the game, Fred Flintstone's beloved pet dinosaur, Dino, and his friend Barney Rubble's pet hopperoo, a kangaroo-like creature named Hoppy, are kidnapped by the evil Dr. Butler, a villain from the 30th century. Dr. Butler steals Dino and Hoppy with the intention of taking them back to the future for his own nefarious purposes. To save Dino and Hoppy, Fred must embark on a time-traveling adventure. A futuristic alien named Gazoo helps Fred by giving him the ability to travel through different time periods, from the prehistoric past to ancient Greece and even the future itself. Fred must battle through these diverse stages, defeat enemies, and ultimately confront Dr. Butler to rescue his pets and return them to the safety of Bedrock. The plot is a bit whimsical and zany, but it fits well within the world of the Flintstones, where time travel and futuristic gadgets are part of the cartoon's comedic charm. It also provides a narrative structure that allows for varied level designs and creative boss battles. The game is a side-scrolling platformer that focuses on exploration, combat, and puzzle solving. The game combines elements of classic NES platformers with a few unique twists that make it stand out. Players control Fred Flintstone as he navigates various levels filled with enemies, obstacles, and hidden items. Fred's main attack is his trusty club, which he uses to bash enemies that range from prehistoric animals to futuristic robots. Fred can also jump, and his jump attack allows him to hit enemies from above, giving players some flexibility in how they approach combat. One of the game's highlights is the variety of environments Fred explores. The levels include the familiar Stone Age world of Bedrock, as well as ancient civilizations like Greece and Egypt, where Fred encounters mythological creatures and historical figures. Each level has a distinct theme and aesthetic, with different enemies and challenges that keep the gameplay fresh. This diversity of stages helps to maintain player interest as Fred travels across different time periods. The game's time-traveling plot allows for some interesting gameplay elements. Players not only explore the Stone Age world of the Flintstones, but they also visit places like ancient Greece, where Fred faces off against mythological creatures like Cyclops and Medusa, and futuristic cities, where robots and advanced technology create new obstacles. The time travel mechanic adds a layer of unpredictability and variety to the levels, making it more than just a traditional platformer. Throughout the game, Fred can unlock special abilities by collecting items or completing certain tasks. One of the key abilities is the club swing, where Fred can use his club to swing across certain gaps or obstacles. Additionally, Gazoo provides Fred with helpful items and power-ups that assist in combat or help Fred reach new areas. These abilities and items add a bit of strategy to the game, as players must figure out the best way to use them to progress through tougher sections. The game also features some mini-games and bonus stages that offer a break from the regular platforming action. For example, Fred can play a basketball minigame, which is a callback to his role as a basketball player on the TV show. These minigames are a fun diversion and give players a chance to earn extra lives or power-ups. Each stage culminates in a boss fight, with bosses ranging from giant prehistoric creatures to futuristic robots and time-traveling villains. These battles often require players to learn the boss's attack patterns and find the right moment to strike. The boss fights are challenging but fair, rewarding players who master the mechanics of Fred's attacks and movements. The game does a great job of capturing the look and feel of the Flintstones TV show. The character sprites are well animated and the environments are colorful and detailed, with plenty of nods to the original cartoon. Fans of the show will appreciate the little touches, such as Fred's signature Yabba Dabba Doo catchphrase, and the inclusion of familiar characters like Barney Rubble, Wilma, and Betty. One of the more unique features of the game is the basketball minigame. This is a reference to the episode of The Flintstones, where Fred becomes a professional basketball player. In the minigame, players must shoot hoops to earn extra points and lives. It's a fun homage to the show and adds a bit of variety to the gameplay. The game's use of time travel is unusual for a Flintstones story, but it adds an interesting twist to the traditional platforming formula. By incorporating different historical and futuristic settings, the game expands the world of the Flintstones in creative ways, allowing Fred to interact with characters and enemies outside of his usual prehistoric environment. The music in The Rescue of Dino and Hoppy was composed by Yoko Shimomura, who would later become famous for her work on games like Street Fighter II, Super Mario RPG, and the Kingdom Hearts series. Her music for the Flintstones game is catchy and upbeat, perfectly matching the lighthearted tone of the game. The sound effects are also well done, with Fred's club swings and enemy impacts sounding satisfying. While the game was released for the NES in both Japan and North America, the North American version has become somewhat rare over time. It wasn't as widely distributed as some other licensed games, and as a result, physical copies of The Rescue of Dino and Hoppy can be quite valuable for collectors today. The Rescue of Dino and Hoppy was followed by another Flintstones NES game, titled The Flintstones Surprise at Dinosaur Peak, which was released in 1994. This game also featured platforming gameplay, but was even rarer, as it was only available as a rental in the US, making it one of the most sought-after NES games among collectors. For a 1991 release, The Rescue of Dino and Hoppy pushed the NES hardware to its limits. The game features vibrant, colorful backgrounds and smooth character animations that hold up well against other late-era NES titles. The level of detail in the sprites and the environments showcases the technical prowess of the developers at Taito. Like many NES games, The Rescue of Dino and Hoppy is known for its challenging difficulty. The platforming can be tricky, and the enemies are relentless, requiring players to have sharp reflexes and patience. However, the game strikes a balance between challenge and fun, making it an engaging experience for players who enjoy classic 8-bit platformers. The Flintstones. The Rescue of Dino and Hoppy may not be the most famous platformer of the NES era, but it's a solid and entertaining game that captures the spirit of the beloved cartoon while offering fun and challenging gameplay. With its time-traveling plot, variety of levels, and quirky boss battles, the game delivers a memorable adventure for Fred Flintstone and fans of the show. Although it flew under the radar for many players, The Rescue of Dino and Hoppy has developed a cult following among retro gaming enthusiasts thanks in part to its solid gameplay mechanics, charming presentation, and nostalgic appeal. It's a game that's worth revisiting, especially for fans of the Flintstones or anyone looking for a fun, well-made platformer from the NES library. So, whether you're a seasoned retro gamer or just discovering the classics, give the Flintstones, The Rescue of Dino and Hoppy, a try. Yabba Dabba Doo!